Hey everybody, it's time to get back to working on our Overcoming a Challenge essay. This is from our ELA 9B class. Let's go ahead and we will minimize me and get started here. Remember, we had this Gmail document going, which on a personal note, I was so glad I put this in a Gmail document because I've been having some technology issues, right? And because I've been having these tech issues, I end up getting a new computer, long story short, and if I had it saved on a Microsoft Word document, a lot of that stuff would have had to have gotten transferred, and it would have been a lot more of a problem. So one of the things to keep in mind when we are doing any drafting or writing, it's really good to use a Google Doc, which of course is what you guys have on your Chromebooks anyway, because it just goes with you wherever and you don't lose all the information. I was super happy to not lose the information or have to transfer it around. So yeah, we had this document going here, and we were, of course, writing a narrative essay about overcoming a challenge in our life. Our pre-writing, we had made a list of things. Some of them were very big deals in life, that could change us, that would be a challenge, like the loss of a parent, an illness in the family. Boy, that would be something you could write about right now, unfortunately, I guess, if someone was sick. Working towards winning, that time you won a prize, achieving goals like riding a bike, losing weight. That ended up being one of mine, was for losing weight, maybe gaining weight. Of course, there's always the opposite side of the fence, getting good grades, loss of a relationship, maybe learning to drive, overcoming other obstacles, or maybe learning how to be in a relationship. So learning about becoming a healthy weight, we had made a list like I like to do. I don't do quite as much of a formal outline. If you guys like to do a formal outline, that's great. You're a step ahead of me. But I like to do a list like this, and it gives me a lot of information fast. I talked about why losing weight was hard for me. Part of that was fast food. I talked about the pop intake that I had. None of my clothes fit, which was getting to be really upsetting. I literally can have like a panic attack when my clothes don't fit. I should be gluten-free because I have celiac disease, so I had these painful rashes on my knees and elbows that cleared up as soon as I went gluten-free. Water weight is a problem for injuries. And how did I do it? I joined Noom, which was a weight loss program, and they gave me articles on how to eat less calorie-rich. They also stressed veggies, healthy grains, gave me a calorie tracker, weight loss tracker, personal coach, and group support. I did say I've lost 22 pounds. Apparently, when we started this, I had lost 22 pounds, but we're going to update that. I've actually lost 33 pounds since then. Ha ha, yes, we can all celebrate. So, and then it's a lifelong change. I am a recovering gluten addict. And I do need to make it stick because I feel so much better and my energy is so much better. So that's my big long list. I'm glad I reviewed it. And then we had written our paragraph together. Helen Keller once said, "Although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of overcoming. It is also full of the overcoming of it." Have you ever suffered until you could? Have you ever suffered until you could overcome a personal challenge in your life? I know I have. I've struggled with my weight and my eating habits for most of my life. There were many years that I was a healthy weight, only to fall back into bad habits. For me, eating is a stress reliever, and I had to learn how to eat in moderation in order to be the best version of myself. Now, I almost feel like I want to put a very solid thesis. I could just pretty much go on with the paper here, but I think if I put a very clear thesis, it's going to help you guys see how your thesis guides your paper. So I'm going to be very blunt and just say, in order to overcome this challenge in my life, I had to learn to, and now here come the titles of our next couple paragraphs, eat less calorie rich. I had to exercise more, and I had to, eat less calorie rich covers the fast food, and I had to ask for help. I love that. I'm telling you guys all the time to ask for help, and that was really what I needed to do. And ironically, I'm going to put it, I have it at the end here, but it's the most important thing. I had to ask for help, learn to eat less calorie rich, and I had to exercise more. So those were the three things that I did to lose weight. And the I'm going to push this all down just so it's together and it'll be easier for us to follow. My goodness, butterfingers today on this keyboard. It's been a while since I made a video because of my tech issues, so I must be out of practice here. Okay, so now for the first paragraph, I'm going to go right back up to here where I gave that first idea. And because I did adjust this around, I'll read it real quick and make it less awkward. In order to overcome this challenge in my life, I had to learn to ask for help. Learns. Learn to eat less. And I had to exercise more. I don't mind that. That sounds good. So, I had been dealing with my weight on my own for some time. That's just a true statement, right? I was just kind of dealing with my weight on my own. I wasn't seeking any kind of outside opinions on what I should do to change it. And I'd say, and I was unhappy with my progress. So one of the first things we sometimes have to recognize before we can change something is how much we don't like it. Sometimes we don't realize we don't like something for a long time until it's driving us crazy, right? Because there's lots of little things that might annoy you during the day, but something that wears on you over time. It's really important to address those challenges. So that was part of my problem. My weight would really bother me, but instead of addressing it, I just kind of kept doing what I was doing and getting what I was getting, which was bigger and sicker. You know, it wasn't just about the size I was or how I looked. It was about how I felt. I felt terrible. And I felt sick to my stomach a lot. You know, so it wasn't just that I felt bad that my clothes didn't fit or whatever. I didn't feel good. I felt very uncomfortable. So I had to shine a light on where my problem was. And I began talking to health conscious people. Wow, it just filled it right in for me. Hope it does that for you guys. Essays would be amazing to write all the time. I began talking to health conscious people and realized some of the small mistakes I was making in my daily eating. I realized that if I was, oops, I forgot to put eating in. I realized that if I was making so many small mistakes, perhaps I needed more I would say more regular, more professional help than I thought. I chose to join, I'll say down, it's not quite a join. I chose, you know, this technology age, there's words for things. You're like, what? You don't know quite what's going to fit. I chose to download the Noom app and applied for a subscription. To their psychology-based eating approach. I took a quiz customized to my specific eating habits and body size type. With that, I was off and running. So there's the first paragraph, pretty much just written out from my own mind. I remembered what I did in order to ask for help. And we can see this lines up with the statement right here, that I had to learn to ask for help in regards to my eating. So the next paragraph that we will do, I will talk about how I learned to eat less calorie rich. And in the third paragraph, I'll talk about how I started to exercise more. And then in the last paragraph, we will write our conclusion together. So I think for today, this is plenty. I forgot what a fun essay this is for me to write right now, because it really is about a challenge I'm overcoming. And so that's another good tip for all of you. When you're writing about these things, if you're trying to write about a challenge that you don't really remember, you're making up, or maybe you learned how to ride a bike a million years ago, because you guys, I was like 7 when I learned to ride a bike without training wheels on it. It's a true story. My balance was not very good. So I was quite a bit older. Most of you probably learned how to ride a bike without training wheels way before I did, a very long time ago. And maybe it's hard for you to remember that. So writing about more recent challenges, again, it doesn't have to be something super personal. It could be, but it can be something personal. It could even be learn how to trim your dog's nails, learn how to walk your dog down the street, or learning breathing exercises to overcome anxiety during COVID. Overcoming obstacles you can talk about in all kinds of ways. And so I would encourage you guys to think of that. Think of stuff that you're doing right now, because that will really help you in writing more authentic paper. So for today, we are done, and I will see you next Tuesday for paragraph number, I was going to say paragraph 2, but it's not. It's paragraph 3 next week. We'll see you soon. Be safe and well. Bye-bye.